I saw the in Ebola suit. He carried me. When I start asking, I said, but how gay? And he said, oh, you were infected by the Ebola.
Right now, we cannot hide ourselves from Ebola. What blood coming from the ear, from the eye, that is the same time your family when you die in my presence. I saw it.
What had us really afraid was when we saw health workers dying. So the situation was so scary to the extent that the information that we needed, we could not get information. Information was mixed.
Very few people on the ground initially who knew about the disease, and there was actually very few people on the ground who were willing to deal with the patients.
Last year when the government was confused, we had no place to go to. People were afraid to come to church.
So in October last year, we had a planning meeting. And in that meeting, one of the critical bottlenecks identified in the response was ensuring that health workers received the necessary supplies, received the necessary training to keep themselves safe. And it was UNDP that said, okay, we will take responsibility for ensuring that health workers involved in the Ebola response get paid and get paid on time.
This is what we are good at. This is our bread and butter, providing support to strengthen institutions and building resilience.
Everything went apart, fell apart. There was body all around here. But with the ill and the courageous work of our health workforce, today we can walk in the street and say we don't have an Ebola case.
The doctor and nurse said they did well. They do well for us, so when they were not done, they will finish in the country. Everybody finish.
It was important that if you have a massive operations, you have a number of people who will be working from different sides, who will all have to be paid.
You know, when people die, you feel so bad that you are not helping, but you are there helping. But to see the kind of death that was going on, it was terrible. But thank God that we gained courage and we were there to help our people.
Before the Ebola outbreak, there were huge conflicts within the health sector. Health workers not being paid. It had to be addressed because we didn't want people to walk away from clearly an acute medical need.
We have funds coming from different agencies. Those organizations have been struggling to be able to reach the Ebola workers. The first challenge is to establish a list of Ebola response workers, which is being made by the country health offices. Once that list is made and verified by them, it's sent to the Ministry of Health, which review the list, verify them, and then send them to the Project Financial Management Unit, which is a unit of the World Bank, which is located in the Ministry of Finance, and they're the one ultimately making the payment. Then EcoBank disburse the fund or make direct payment into the Ebola response worker account for the ones who have accounts. For the ones who don't have accounts, we're making offsite payments.
They say, your money not here. Then you consult me sending my money to Global Bank. It is right under the labor law, under the Geneva Convention.
Okay, my name is Jiba Kamara. I work with UNDP as UN volunteer. Basically, our job is to follow up on claim and make sure that the claims are authentic, and we make sure that the health workers receive their pay. If they are not receiving their pay, we want to know where the problems are and how can we follow up with the Ministry of Health.
Recognizing that actually there are no banks everywhere, not everybody has a bank account. There was actually UNDP staff working together with Ministry of Health staff, getting on an unmanned helicopter with bags of money and actually going out and pay health workers money. Those visible signs of commitment to them, well, allowed them to actually focus on the work that they're supposed to be doing rather than worry about their livelihood.
Efficiency was important, but effectiveness was much more important at that point. Just get the work done.
So under information management, we've been able to collect the information around payment programs and that kind of thing and provide that information publicly on a website that was designed for Ebola response workers to look at.
Yeah, one of the challenges is that they have too much bureaucracy in the payment.
And so it's a bit complicated because there are a couple of different kinds of hazard pay or response pay and 3 different kinds of workers, and trying to figure out who fits where can be a bit complicated, and trying to make the lists, especially because as Ebola was happening, everything needed to move very quickly. The second component is strengthening the payment mechanisms. Out of 15 counties, there are 4 that don't have any banks at all. And then liquidity is an issue, and just getting money to the banks becomes very problematic, especially when there are issues with roads and electricity. There is mobile money in the country. Out of 4 mobile network operators, only 1 has mobile money, and liquidity has been a really big issue. So people will go to agents in the field and they may not have cash available.
Walking through the bank, I think, is the way forward. Making sure that everybody has the bank account and the IMS team can supervise and then pay everybody with accountability and transparency is key.
UNDP have been there from the beginning. They help us compile the list. They were there arranging with other UN agencies to arrange flights to fly out to go to the counties. Today, we are privileged to receive laptops, printers, stationaries.
Now that we observe that Ebola is almost going to zero balance, with that, I'm happy. I'm happy.
The IMS is basically a command structure running the operation of how to contain the disease in the country, working with the various partners, but everyone basically reports in a unified manner.
We can actually get much more done working together behind the national system. The IMS has proven that. They've worked very well, they've supported coordination, they provided a platform for unifying the response. And I think this is something, this is a legacy that should be built upon.
I'm Ebola free. And today I with my community people are in the process of teaching. There are parents who still have that choice, who still believe that I'm Ebola free. They send their children to that school. And that school today, see that school, bit by bit, we are moving forward.
First,